For today's pre-calculus lesson, our main objective is to write parametric equations through two given points. But first, a little review with this. Number one, to make a graph, let's fill in the table. We need an input of t, and x and y are the outputs. And our t's are going from -3 to +3. All right, so in our calculator, the x equation is t squared minus 2, and the y is 3t. All right, so you actually write your values on your paper, and I'm just going to leave that screenshot there. All right, so then when we graph, I've got 7, -9. -2, -6, -1, -3. This looks like a parabola on its side. All right, 2, 6. And because this is a parametric equation, the order of the points being graphed matters. So when I connect my points, technically you can connect the dots, whatever's most comfortable for you. I think it's easier for me to draw them. Close enough. But we got to see that this was the first point at 7, -9, and this is the direction our graph is traveling in as t goes from -3 to 3. All right, so here, then eliminate the parameter. Missed that part. It is easiest to isolate the t in our y equation and input that to the x equation. And the reason this looks like a parabola on its side is because our x's and y's are switched from the way we normally see it. And there we go. All right. Finding a parametric equation through 2 points actually connects into our vectors from our last unit because direction matters. So for all of these problems, we're going to have 3 steps. So please write down these 3 steps. Pause the video and write down the 3 steps. All right, so part 1 is find the direction vector from AB. So that's the component form. So vector AB is the terminal point minus the initial point. So -2 minus 5 is the x-coordinate. -4 minus 2 is the y-coordinate. We get -7, -6. So if you think about a graph, this vector, -7, -6, shows us we start at the origin and travel left and down. So the vector equation is the initial point, so origin to A, plus some input of t with the component form. Let's say times. So from the origin to A, that's the initial point, 5, 2. Then t, the direction vector AB, works like a slope, the change in y and the change in x. So our parametric equation, now all we have to do is match the x components, so t times -7, x equals 5 plus -7t you can write 5 minus 7t. And then the y components, y, 2, and t times negative 6. So y equals 2 plus negative 6t. Here's your parametric equations, but we need all three parts to flow together to get the final answer. All right, so let's try that again on number 3. Pause the video and see if you can do the first step of the component form. So terminal 3 minus negative 2, and then the y, 6 minus 3. So the vector equation is the initial, the origin to the A point, which is like as a vector from origin to A, plus t, and then your direction vector. So for your parametric equations, x equals negative 2 plus 5 times t, and y equals 3 plus 3 times t. All right, see if you can do that for number 4. Pause the video here and see if you can do from start to finish. So for your component form, 5 minus negative 3, 1 minus negative 3. My vector equation, x, y equals initial point plus, whoops, I need the t, direction. Take our components, x equals negative 3 plus 8t, y equals negative 3 plus 4t. All right, so your practice is page 11. See if you can write all of the equations through the 2 points.